We now go to the final heat of the 2023 Rotax Max Challenge Euro Trophy season here at Paul Fletcher International. It's Heat 3 for DD2 and DD2 Masters. Here is your starting grid. David Outleichner will start from pole position. Alongside him, the points leader, Martin van Leeuwen from the Netherlands. Edward Matthews will not be taking the start. He's due to start on the inside of row number 2, which means Tristan Rennie will be starting from the outside of row 2 in 4th place. Bradley Barrett and DD2 Masters pole sitter Nicolas Picot will complete row number 3. Jakob Bezel and Enzo Bol, the latter second in the championship. As all, we've got a slight problem there. Maxim Dirix, who is due to start down in 13th, has come to a halt coming out of the second hairpin. So Enzo Bol due to start in 8th position, currently second in the standings, 40 points behind Outleichner. And Dirix is feverishly working on the right-hand side. Could be possibly Warring Loom related or something of another description. Might be, he's out of the cart. Maxime Dirix will not be starting this race. It's really put him on the back foot for the pre-final later on today, which will be at 1:30 p.m. Local time here at Paul Fletcher International. The remainder of the grid will be Lucas Pernaut, Victor Frostbay, Ilias Kaliakmanis, Martinas Stankiewicz. There will be an open spot next to Matthias Lund, where Maxime Dirix was due to start on row number 7, with Nicolas Guillaume in the 491, and Germany's Dennis Thum in the 577, bringing up the rear of the field. So 10 minutes on the timer plus an additional lap to conclude the last of 24 heats here at the home of British karting, the Paul Fletcher International Circuit, 1,382 metres in length. Red lights are on the gantry, ready to be extinguished. The moment the revs rise and the start is given the green light to go. Outleichner and Van Leeuwen have a win apiece. Pico has won both the DD2 Masters classification in 2 heats yesterday. Can he make it a clean sweep and push his way to a European title? Into the tram lines. Revs now rise. Are we ready? Are we steady? Lights are out for the final heat of the season. And a good start from Outleichner. Bradley Barrett makes a good move as well, up to 2nd position ahead of Martin van Leeuwen as they go up the banking for the first time. Jakob Bezel in 4th, behind Martin van Leeuwen. Tristan Rennie rounds out the top 5 as they go over the Litchfield Bridge for the opening tour. Down the hill as Rennie gets a defence in front of him, courtesy of Jakob Bezel. Tristan Rennie manages to get round past him before they've even hit the apex of hairpin number 1 to get through to 4th place. Pernaut now trying to get through on Pico to try and battle away with Jakob Bezel. And has Enzo Bol right up his exhaust pipe as they go through the Fullerton S's for the first time. Into Bobby Gain corner they go. 9.25 minutes remaining on the timer plus an additional lap. Into the Mike Wilson complex. They now come out of the final corner to complete the opening lap. And it is David Outleichner. Leads away Bradley Barrett in 2nd. Martin van Leeuwen from the Netherlands in 3rd. 4th, Tristan Rennie. Jakob Bezel in 5th. Nicolas Picot still holding station in 6th, and more importantly, the DD2 Masters class lead. Lucas Pernaut, Enzo Bol, Victor Frostbay, and Greece's Ilias Kaliakmanis rounds out the top 10 overall. Martinas Stankiewicz now in 11th, ahead of Matthias Lund. Dennis Thum ahead of Nicolas Guillaume. So down to 14 runners and riders. As Van Leeuwen now gets through on Bradley Barrett for 2nd at the 2nd hairpin. Tristan Rennie makes it through for 3rd place at the Fullerton S's. Now Bradley Barrett has Jakob Bezel right on his case. The previous champion of this series, and that was back in 2019. His brother Petter was the 2021 DD2 champion and was 2nd in 2022 behind champion, and then the man that's only made history last year in Portimao with 3 different Grand Finals titles in junior, senior and DD2. That man gunning for the senior Rotax title this year, Mark Kimber. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, rounded out by Lucas Pernod from Canada. As again, all the two Sodi carts switching to the right-hand side on the approach into the first hairpin. And then there's Jakob Bezel up the inside of Bradley Barrett through hairpin 2. That's opened the door for Lucas Pernod. It's nearly, and Pernod's gone for double. And Picot's right in the mix. And Bradley Barrett and Lucas Pernod were side by side. Pernod sideways on the exit of the Fullerton S's. Nicolas Picot was right in the middle of all of that, and Enzo Boll has profited nicely. So Enzo Boll, that could put him up into 7th position. Maybe make that 6th as he's right on the coattails of Nicolas Picot. It does make it 6th, that makes it 5th. Enzo Boll has struggled all the way through the heats and also through qualifying so far this weekend. Outleichner leads Van Leeuwen by just over 0.3 of a second. Down the hill into the opening hairpin they go once again. Now on lap number 4. Enzo Boll now gets through on Nicolas Picot. More importantly, that's going to put him 5th on the road, and 5th actually on the road, and 5th in the DD2 class, despite having been behind the Frenchman for that to transpire. Bradley Barrett is now behind Nicolas Picot and rounds out the top 7. But in the meantime, Outleichner and Van Leeuwen are again mano a mano, so to speak. And Outleichner was very, very quick at karting Genk. Consistent run, but then Marienborg, his race weekend didn't go to plan. And that's why he's 40 points behind, not taking into consideration drop scores. 40% of the race completed, 60% to go. So just under 6 minutes plus an additional lap remains. Outleichner still leads. If he puts it as a race victory in heat number 3, he will get pole for the pre-final at 1:30 p.m. this afternoon, local time here in the UK. For Central Europe, that's 2:30 p.m. A little bit more squabbling towards the back of the field. Martinas Stankiewicz finds himself a little bit further down the order. He's in 14th at the minute. Stankiewicz came in with a slender lead of 5 points. Nearly as close as what the senior Rotax title battle is like at the moment. 4.64 for him, 4.59 for the defending champion, Dennis Thum. But the way things are going, Nicolas Picot, that's going to put him on a considerable amount of points. As in the fact that it could swing things around, that will put him on 510. Stankiewicz, if he finishes third, that's 514. And then Dennis Thum, that will be 52 points. It's getting closer still. That's going to mean that the top 3, with the ranking after the heats, as now we see Victor Frostbay getting his elbows out. And that was on Ilias Kaliakmanis. Kaliakmanis went 2 wheels onto the grass coming out of the second hairpin. Something's just gone off somebody's cart. Not too sure if it was Bradley Barrett's, but it was something that was bouncing off of somebody, or coming off of the cart. Looked to be of some kind of plastic orientation. And it's bouncing like a ping pong ball. Pernod looking to side up the inside of Ilias Kaliakmanis. That's for 9th, as they got Dennis Thum right behind them. So down towards the first hairpin they go once again with just under 4 minutes to go, plus an additional lap. As now it will be a very defining point on who will have the advantage going into the pre-final later on today before the lunch break. And there is a nice little move. That is from Victor Frostbay. Now up into 6th position in front of the 4.43 of Sodi Vitesse's Bradley Barrett. The 21-year-old from Southampton behind the Dane. So Outleichner has a lead of just over 0.4 of a second in front of Martin Van Leeuwen from the Netherlands. Bradley Barrett trying to get back past Victor Frostbay, but that's easier said than done as they come over the Litchfield Bridge, down the dip into the first hairpin, hard on the brakes, turn the cart to the right, rotate it, then put the pedal to the metal, short shoot up to the next left-hand hairpin, and then try and get some speed and hopefully a little bit of a slipstream heading into this fast-paced Fullerton S's section. Just behind there is Nicolas Picot, Lucas Bernard and Ilias Kaliakmanis. Now, Dennis Thum at the moment is currently 1.1 seconds behind Nicolas Picot. So, could the German, the current reigning and defending champion, get past the man that's been on point so far this weekend? Well, the first thing that Dennis Thum has got to do is get past Nicolas Guillaume, but time is not on Dennis Thum's side. Just over 2 minutes to go, plus an additional lap. Van Leeuwen is waiting to strike, and the time is now. Through on the second infield hairpin goes Martin Van Leeuwen back into the race leader ahead of Poland's David Outlechner. Now through into the right-hander of Bobby Game Corner. There's going to be this plus 2 additional laps left to go to complete the final sets of heats on the road to Bahrain here in 2023 for the Euro Trophy. Out of the final corner. Just over 90 seconds to go. 2/10 is the gap. Outlechner just has to keep within striking distance. As Lucas Bernard trying to get past Bradley Barrett. The Canadian has already gotten past Ilias Kaliakmanis. Nicolas Guillaume is ahead of Dennis Thum now. So Dennis Thum at this point is over 1.7 seconds behind Nicolas Picot in terms of the distance between themselves on track. And that, at this point, is not going to be easy for him to do. Pernod looks to the outside of Bradley Barrett, and that gives the open door for Ilias Kaliakmanis heading into the Fullerton S's. But the Canadian stays in front. Now out of the final corner. 2 more laps remain in the heats for 2023. Van Leeuwen now has started to crank up the wick. He's got that gap from 2/10 to nearly 6th. Enzo Bol now closing in on 2019 DD2 European champion Jakob Bezel as they go over the Litchfield Bridge. Round turn 4, the 90 right, down the dip. Can Enzo Bol make it into 4th and have a bit of a reason to feel happy? It's not going to be the result he wants, but now Jakob Bezel is to the inside, Bol to the outside. Can Bol get the switch back? No is the answer. Time expires. 10 minutes completed. After this, just 1,382 metres still remain until the checkered flag. As Martin Van Leeuwen from the Netherlands looks to be one step away from securing pole position for the pre-final, making the penultimate step to becoming European champion. Gap between him and Outlechner is just under 4.5 of a second as they go over the Litchfield Bridge for the final time on lap number 12. Down into the first hairpin for the last time. Now accelerate, pull to the right-hand side, rotate the cart into the corner. Tristan Rennie, he's going to have something to smile about because he's sitting pretty in 3rd position at the moment. Jakob Bezel and Enzo Bol round out the top 5, but Bradley Barrett is at the front end of a dogfight at the back end of the field right now. But our leaders make their way through the Mike Wilson complex for the final time and booking himself on pole position for the pre-final. It's the points leader, Martin Van Leeuwen, the Flying Dutchman, does it again. 2 wins and a second. He books himself on pole for the pre-final. David Outlechner will line up alongside him on the front row, so the roles from the heats are now reversed for the pre-final. Tristan Rennie, well done to the 474 from Kraft Motorsport that takes a well-deserved 3rd position ahead of Jakob Bezel, Enzo Bol, Victor Frostbay. Nicolas Picot takes his 3rd successive race win in a row and books himself on pole position for DD2 Masters. Now that makes him, in my book, the clear pace favourite for this weekend to take the title. Lucas Pernaud, Bradley Barrett and Ilias Kaliakmanis round out the top 10. Martina Stankevicius, Nicolas Guillaume, Dennis Thum and Matthias Lund round out the finishing order. Unfortunately, Maxime Dirix is going to have to start working hard from the back for the pre-final as he retired on the formation lap. Edward Matthews non-starting.